She collapsed to the floor, her pregnant body shaking as a stroke ripped through her. With one trembling hand, she typed the only words that could save her life. 911, help me. The message sent. Hope flickered. But before help could arrive, her millionaire husband appeared, snatched her phone, and coldly erased the plea for help so he could rush back to a glamorous party with his mistress. While she fought to stay conscious, he laughed with his lover under crystal chandeliers, unaware that every cruel second was caught on camera. And once the truth comes out, not even his millions will save him. You will not be ready for the ending. Drop a comment below so we can talk about it. The party inside the mansion is loud enough to shake the walls. Music thunders like an earthquake, glasses clink, and drunken laughter bounces through the golden chandelier light. The millionaire's guests spill wine on marble floors without a care in the world. They are celebrating a woman who does not own this house, a woman who is not the wife, a woman who believes tonight marks the moment she replaces the pregnant woman who built this life with Marcos in the first place. But on the other side of a long hallway, far from the bright laughter and the swirl of perfume, Elena Cruz stands alone, 8 months pregnant, barefoot, dizzy, terrified. Her right hand claws the wall for balance as a shock shoots down the side of her face. It feels like lightning cracking through her skull. Her vision splits, her right eye blurs. Her words turn to slush in her mouth. She tries to speak, but only a broken, strangled whisper escapes. Her knees buckle. The corridor tilts like a sinking ship. She knows. Every cell in her body knows. She is having a stroke. Her heart pounds too fast. Her fingers go numb. The world narrows to a single point of light in front of her. She sucks in air, desperate and uneven, as her unborn baby twists inside her belly, reacting to her panic. She tries to move faster, but her right leg drags behind her like a dead weight. The party roars louder. The music feels mocking. Every beat reminds her she is alone. Her phone slips in her hands as she tries to unlock it. She stares at the glowing screen, which swims and bends like a reflection on water. She wipes a tear, but her arm barely responds. Her body is betraying her in slow motion. She blinks hard, forcing her fading vision to focus on the numbers. 911. Her thumb shakes violently as she types. She can barely read the letters. She can barely feel her own skin. She types by instinct, by memory, by pure fight to stay alive. 911, help me. The message sends. The tiny word, delivered, pops up like a miracle. Hope. Small, but real. Then she hears him. Marcos's voice slices into the hallway like a blade. His polished shoes echo sharply with every step. The colored lights from the party flicker across his expensive tailored suit. He smells like expensive cologne and cold fury. He stops when he sees her. For one moment, just one tiny second, the universe seems to freeze. Elena thinks he might help her. She thinks he might drop to his knees and hold her. She thinks he might scream for someone to call an ambulance. She thinks he might remember that inside her body is his child. But Marcos is not that man. The fury in his eyes is instant. Hot, sharp, cruel. "What are you doing?" he snaps. "You look disgusting. Pull yourself together." Her mouth opens, but only a slurred, broken sound falls out. Her face is drooping. Her right arm hangs limp. Tears stream down her cheek. She tries to hand him her phone, to show him the emergency message, but her wrist bends uselessly. Marcos snatches the phone before she can speak. He looks at the screen. He sees the message. His face twists into something cold and monstrous. "You texted 911, he says. "Are you trying to ruin tonight?" Elena tries to say no. She tries to beg. She tries to say she is losing control of her body, but the words collapse on her tongue. Marcos leans closer, his lips curled. "Do you want police outside when I am hosting a party for Victoria? Do you want flashing sirens and cameras? Do you want to embarrass me?" He does not wait for an answer. His thumb moves in a swift and vicious motion. Delete. The only lifeline she managed to send. Gone. Her lungs tighten. Her vision flickers almost to black. She reaches out to him with her one working arm, but he steps back with disgust. "Do not touch me. Go sit somewhere and stop being dramatic. You always do this when you know I am busy." He walks away without looking back. He takes long, confident strides toward the laughter and applause waiting for him. The champagne bottle in his hand glitters under the hallway light. He is bringing it to the woman he loves, the woman he protects, the woman he chose tonight. Elena crumples to the floor. Her knees hit the cold marble with a soft thud. Her right arm drags uselessly. Her head drops forward. She tries to inhale, but only half her chest seems to respond. Drool slips from the corner of her mouth. She tries to wipe it but cannot lift her hand. Above her, unnoticed, a small red light blinks from a ceiling camera. A silent witness, unblinking, recording every second, every cruel word, every gesture. Every moment he deleted her plea for help, every frame of her collapsing. Elena rolls onto her side, unable to fight gravity. Her fingers twitch in pain. Her lips tremble as she tries to whisper for help. Only a faint moan escapes. She feels the world slipping away, like falling through a dark tunnel. Her baby shifts again, desperate and confused. She presses her hand against her stomach as much as she can. "Stay with me," she whispers, although the words sound broken and half-formed. "Please, stay with me." Her eyes drift toward the end of the corridor. She sees lights flashing, people dancing, glasses clinking, the world continuing without her, a world where she is invisible, a world where her suffering is not even an inconvenience to the man she married. Her thoughts scatter like leaves in the wind. She tries to remember her mother's face, her doctor's voice, her last healthy breath, her baby's heartbeat during her last appointment. The exact moment everything started to go wrong. Then her entire right side goes numb. The music thunders louder. The guests cheer louder. The mistress laughs louder. Upstairs, the man who erased her emergency message raises a toast to the woman he committed it for. And down the hall, Elena's world grows quiet. Her body goes still. The camera keeps recording. The universe holds its breath. The text that should have saved her has been deleted, but the truth has not. 6 hours earlier, the mansion feels like a completely different universe. There is no thundering music, no drunken cheering, no swirling lights meant to worship Marcus's mistress. Instead, gentle afternoon sunlight spills through the tall windows, warming the cream-colored curtains and the polished floors. Everything is calm. Everything looks perfect. Everything feels safe in the way storms often do right before they strike. Elena moves slowly through the quiet living room. Her hands rest under her belly as she tries to stretch away the pressure sitting behind her eyes. The headache started in the morning, a dull throb she hoped would fade with water and rest. Instead, it grew sharper, climbing behind her left eye and pressing against her temples like invisible hands squeezing from both sides. She blinks a few times, trying to chase away a faint shimmer drifting at the edges of her vision. A small voice inside her whispers that something is wrong. Very wrong. But the louder voice belongs to fear. Fear of causing another argument. Fear of hearing Marcos accuse her of seeking attention again. Fear of being told the problem is her and never him. She presses a palm to her forehead as a wave of nausea rolls through her. The morning sickness of early pregnancy had ended months ago. This is different. This is sharper. Her breath tightens. She thinks about calling her doctor but winces as she remembers Marcos forbidding her from interrupting professionals for every little thing. His words, not hers. She glances toward the staircase when she hears footsteps. He appears at the top, already dressed in a crisp shirt and dark trousers, even though it is only early afternoon. He is reviewing the menu for tonight's event while speaking to someone on the phone, his tone clipped and annoyed. "Yes, everything must be perfect. No excuses. Victoria deserves the best." He says it so casually, as if the woman he is praising is the one carrying his child, as if his wife is a guest in her own home. He does not notice Elena's hand on the railing for support. He does not notice the slight droop of her eyelid. He does not notice the strain in her voice when she quietly asks, "Marcos, can we talk for a moment?" He sighs, ends the call without a goodbye, and walks down the stairs. "What now?" he asks, not even pretending to be gentle. Elena swallows. Her throat feels dry. "My head hurts again. Worse this time. And my vision is blurry. I think I need to visit the doctor before the party." Marcos raises a brow, unimpressed. "You already had a checkup 2 weeks ago. Everything was fine. You worry too much. Stop thinking about every ache or twitch." "It is not a normal headache," Elena insists softly. "It feels different. I feel dizzy, and my hands were tingling this morning." He waves a dismissive hand. Pregnancy comes with symptoms. You read too many articles. You let anxiety take over. You have always been sensitive. I am not being anxious. I just feel like something is wrong. You always feel like something is wrong when you want attention. Her lips tighten. She looks away so he will not see the hurt on her face. He steps closer, his voice firm but calm, the tone he uses when he wants to correct her as if she is a child. You will not ruin tonight. Do you understand? This party is important. Victoria has been under stress, and I want her to enjoy herself. I need you to behave. Smile. Stay out of the spotlight. Do not make anything about you. Elena's stomach knots. She tries again, quieter this time. I am not trying to ruin anything. I just want to make sure the baby is safe. Marcos laughs under his breath, not kindly. The baby is fine. You are the one creating drama. If you keep pushing this, I will take your phone for the evening so you do not overreact again. Her shoulders stiffen. She whispers, I just wanted you to listen. I listened, he says, and I am telling you, stop it. We are not going to the hospital, not today. He leaves her standing by the staircase, still pressing her palm into the railing for balance, as he walks into the kitchen to instruct the staff. She closes her eyes, steadying her breath. She knows better than to push him when he is in this mood. She knows how quickly irritation transforms into cruelty. She knows how often silence has been safer than asking for help. She moves to the couch and sits down slowly. The sunlight drapes over her, warm and soft, yet the room feels strangely cold. She massages her temples, trying to ease the pressure building behind her eyes. Her heartbeat feels faster than usual. She tries to calm herself by inhaling deeply, but even that makes her vision pulse. She reaches for a glass of water, but her hand trembles. The water sloshes over the rim and drips onto the table. She wipes it up quickly, as if the small mess might anger him. She closes her eyes again, whispering to herself, it is probably nothing, just rest, just breathe, maybe it will get better. But when she tries to stand, her legs wobble, the room tilts. She catches herself on the couch arm and sinks back down. Her skin feels warm, too warm. She checks her phone for the number of her doctor again, her thumb hovering over the call button. Then she remembers the last time she called without permission. The argument, the accusations, the night she cried alone while Marcos slept in another room. She hesitates. Her hand drops to her lap. A soft knock on the door startles her. It is Rosa, the older housekeeper who has worked in the mansion for years. Rosa's eyes soften the moment she sees Elena's pale face and unfocused gaze. Senora, you do not look well, Rosa whispers. You have been touching your head all morning. Elena forces a smile. It is nothing, just a headache. That is not a normal headache, Rosa says gently. You should rest. Perhaps you should call your doctor. Elena lowers her gaze. I cannot. Marcos said it is not serious. Rosa frowns. Her voice drops even softer. Sometimes men do not understand what a woman feels inside her own body. If something feels wrong, it usually is. Elena inhales shakily. She wants to believe that. She wants to trust her own instincts again. But Marcos has spent years training her to doubt herself. Rosa squeezes her shoulder before stepping back. If you need anything, call me. Even if he says no. When Rosa leaves, Elena remains still for a long moment. Her thoughts swirl with worry. The headache grows sharper. She almost calls her doctor again, but once more stops herself. She looks out the window instead, watching sunlight fade into early evening. The shadows lengthen. The mansion transforms as the staff switch on warm lights and prepare decorations for the night. Elena slowly rises to her feet, steadying herself with the arm of the couch. She moves toward the kitchen for water, trying to convince herself she is fine. But halfway there, another wave of dizziness hits, harder than before. Her knees nearly give out. Her hands grab the counter just in time. She gasps as lights flicker at the edges of her vision. Something is wrong. Something is dangerously wrong. But Marcos's voice echoes in her memory, sharp and unyielding. Do not ruin tonight. So she swallows her fear. She sits down again, and 6 hours later, she collapses in the hallway, alone. The afternoon drifts into early evening, and the mansion begins to shift into its nighttime personality. Staff hurry through the halls, carrying trays, adjusting lights, polishing silver, and preparing the rooms for the arrival of wealthy guests. The air grows warmer with the smell of candles and rich food. Everything is designed to be perfect for the party Marcos has obsessed over for weeks. Everything except Elena, who sits quietly on the edge of the couch, trying to slow her breathing as another wave of dizziness rises through her body. The headache has not eased. It has deepened. The pressure behind her eyes feels heavier, like someone is pushing her face into a pillow. Her vision loses focus every few minutes. A strange tingling crawls up her arm again, this time stronger, almost burning. She flexes her fingers, but they do not respond the way she wants. She tries again. They move, but sluggishly, as if they belong to someone else. She closes her eyes, counting slowly, hoping the symptoms will pass. Instead, her chest tightens with a heavy feeling she cannot shake. Something is wrong. She does not need a diagnosis to understand it. Her body is signaling danger, loud and clear, but she is trapped by fear and the long shadow of Marcos's voice. Her phone vibrates on the cushion. A message flashes from her friend Clara, the same friend she has avoided for months because Marcos dislikes her. "How are you doing today? Still having headaches?" Elena hesitates. She considers lying. She considers saying she is fine, because that is what she has grown used to doing, but she types slowly, "Still hurting, vision blurry, hands tingling." Clara replies instantly, "Elena, that is not normal. Call your doctor right now." Elena stares at the message. Her thumb hovers over the keyboard. Her instinct screams at her to listen, but another vibration interrupts her. A second notification appears above Clara's message. From Marcos. "Remember, no phone during the party. Stay calm and presentable." The timing feels cruel. Elena bites her lip, caught between her fear and the pressure he places on her. She types back to Clara, "I will be okay. Just need rest." Even as she sends it, her heart sinks. She knows she is lying. A soft creak sounds behind her. One of the house staff, a young security guard named Daniel, walks by with a stack of chairs. He slows when he notices Elena pressing a hand to her forehead. "Ma'am, are you all right?" he asks carefully. "You look a little pale." She forces a small smile. "I am just tired. Long day." He hesitates. He is not convinced, but he nods politely and moves on. Elena closes her eyes again, wishing someone could make the decision for her. Wishing Marcos would look at her and see fear instead of inconvenience. Wishing she felt free to simply say, "I need help." But she carries the silence the way she always has. Heavy, suffocating. She pushes herself off the couch with both hands. Her legs wobble, but she steadies herself. Her doctor's warning comes back to her in pieces. Severe headaches, blurred vision, swelling. Call immediately. She tries to remember if she has swelling. She lifts her sleeve, staring at her wrist. It looks a little puffy, but she is no longer sure what is normal. Pregnancy has blurred the line between discomfort and danger. She steps toward the kitchen. Halfway there, she stops, shaken by a strange, rushing sound in her ears, like distant ocean waves pounding a shoreline. It grows louder and louder, until she feels her pulse thudding in her skull. She grips the counter again, breathing through her teeth. Something is wrong, deeply wrong. She lifts her phone again with trembling fingers. She scrolls to her doctor's number. Her thumb rests on the call button. Her heart pounds. She is seconds from dialing. Then Marcos's voice erupts behind her. "Elena, why are you still wandering around? You should be upstairs getting ready." She spins slightly, dizzy from the movement. He strides into the kitchen, irritation written in every line of his face. He glances at her phone. "Who are you calling?" She freezes. Her throat closes. I was just... "You were about to do something dramatic again, weren't you?" he says. "You know how you get before events. I should take that phone from you right now." Her shoulders fold. "I do not feel well. You say that every time you want to avoid people." She flinches. "That is not true." He snatches a bottle of water from the counter and hands it to her without care. "Drink. Lie down. Fix your face. We do not need guests thinking you are miserable." "I am not miserable," she whispers, knowing it sounds like a lie. Marcos sighs heavily, as though she is a burden he must tolerate. "If you embarrass me tonight, I will not forgive it. I need everything perfect. Victoria deserves a good evening." The knot in Elena's stomach tightens again. Hearing her own husband talk about another woman with such devotion feels like ice crawling up her spine. She wants to shout that she deserves care too. She wants to tell him what the symptoms mean. She wants to beg him to drive her to the hospital before something irreversible happens. but his glare warns her not to. He brushes past her and shouts instructions to the staff, his voice booming across the kitchen. Elena takes a small sip of water. Her hands shake so much, she nearly drops the bottle. She places it on the counter and lowers her head. The room grows louder with movement. Staff rush around to prepare. Someone adjusts lights. Someone sets up speakers. Someone tests audio equipment. Elena hears their footsteps, their whispers, their chatter. They walk past her like she is invisible, like she is another piece of furniture, like her pain is not real. She steps out of the kitchen, needing air. She moves toward the hallway bathroom. But halfway there, her phone buzzes again. A new message. From her bank. Alert. Joint account access modified. Her stomach drops. She opens the notification. Marcos changed the password. She tries to log in. Denied. Another warning. Another control. Another quiet theft of her independence. Her entire body chills. She remembers yesterday. Marcos took her credit card to keep her from overspending. Last week, he deleted her contact list to clear space. 2 months ago, he removed her friends from their shared social calendar. He said it was to reduce stress. Piece by piece, he closed every door around her. She stares at her shaking hands, feeling a sudden clarity, like cold water pouring over her skin. The headache intensifies. Her vision flickers again. The room tilts. Her right hand tingles sharply, then goes numb for several seconds before sensation slowly returns. These are not small signs, not random pain, not anxiety. These are red lights flashing in every direction. She finally whispers the truth under her breath. I am in danger. But Marcos's footsteps echo down the hall again, approaching too fast, and the words die in her throat. She lowers her head, pretends to breathe normally, and prepares herself for a night that will end in the most terrifying moment of her life. Night falls over the mansion like a velvet curtain, and with it comes an energy that vibrates through the floors. The lights dim to a golden glow. Expensive candles flicker in crystal holders. A string quartet plays at the entrance as wealthy guests arrive in tailored suits and shimmering gowns. Every corner of the house hums with anticipation, laughter, and the intoxicating scent of perfume and champagne. But behind all the noise, hidden within the narrow back corridor of the mansion, the first tremor of disaster begins to shake through Elena's body. She tries to breathe through the tightness in her chest, but each inhale feels thick and heavy. Her vision blurs again, now worse than anything she experienced earlier. The edges of the hallway smear into a tunnel of shadows. She reaches out, clutching the wall as her right arm twitches and weakens. Her fingers curl involuntarily. She stumbles, then catches herself just before her knees crash to the floor. A cold panic rises in her throat. She presses a hand to her belly, whispering to her unborn child, "Hold on, please hold on." The music from the ballroom grows louder. A wave of applause erupts. Elena recognizes the voice drifting from the speakers, bright and silky. Victoria, the mistress, has arrived. Elena forces her feet forward, fighting the numbness spreading slowly across her shoulder and jaw. She needs a quiet place. She needs to sit. She needs help. But she knows calling for it will unleash Marcos's fury. She knows he will accuse her of trying to ruin Victoria's entrance. She hesitates at the corner, gripping it as her body sways. Then a stabbing pain shoots through her head. It is so sudden and so violent that she cries out, a raw, strangled sound swallowed by the walls. Her legs give out. She drops to one knee, gasping for air. Her phone slips from her hand. She fumbles for it desperately, blinking hard to keep her vision stable. She barely sees the screen but manages to swipe it open. Her finger hovers over the emergency contacts. Her hand trembles uncontrollably. A guest turns the corner briefly, spots her struggling on the floor, and pauses. But when he sees her face and recognizes her as Marcos's wife, he hesitates. Fear clouds his expression. He steps back and pretends he saw nothing. The hallway remains silent except for Elena's ragged breaths. Her stomach twists. She whispers, "Someone help me, please." No one comes. Her hand finally taps the message bar. She types with clumsy, half-numb fingers. She cannot feel her thumb. She forces herself to keep going. Her vision warps. The letters blur. Her fingers slide across the phone, but she hits send. The tiny bubble appears again. 911, help me. Her breath escapes in a shudder of relief. She closes her eyes, fighting tears. For a brief moment, She believes she will survive. Then his footsteps arrive, sharp, fast, angry. Marcos storms down the hallway with the furious purpose of a man who sees only what inconveniences him. The colored lights from the ballroom flash across his face as he steps into the corridor, revealing a smile he wore only seconds earlier for Victoria. That smile vanishes the instant he sees Elena kneeling on the floor, clutching the wall, phone in hand. His face contorts. Fury floods his eyes. "What the hell are you doing here?" he snaps. Elena tries to speak, but her words slide out broken. "Marcos, I cannot move right." He looks down at her like she is an obstacle he needs to remove. "Get up, now. You look ridiculous. People will see you." She opens her mouth again, but her jaw droops. Only a slurred whisper escapes. "Something is wrong. I need help." Marcos steps closer, towering over her. "You are doing this on purpose. You are jealous. You are trying to ruin her night." He rips the phone from her hand before she can react. The movement sends her tilting sideways. She gasps as her shoulder slams against the wall. He glances at the screen. His entire body stiffens. "You texted 911 again?" Elena tries to shake her head, but her neck barely moves. "I cannot feel my arm," she whispers. "Please." Marcos's voice rises with an explosive rage. "You do not get to humiliate me like this. Do you understand? You will not bring police into my home because of one of your episodes." He holds her phone up, as if presenting evidence against her. His thumb hovers over the message. Elena's heart drops. "No," she manages to gasp. "Please, I need—" He deletes the message. Gone, again. Her lifeline erased for the second time in one night. Her body trembles with fear and shock. Her vision flickers. Her breath becomes uneven. But the moment is far from over. Marcos grabs her wrist, jerking her up in one violent, impulsive motion. Elena cries out in pain as the movement yanks the dead weight of her right arm. Her knees buckle. Her belly contracts from the sudden force. She clings to the wall to steady herself. He leans in close, his voice low and venomous. "If you make one more scene, I swear, I will leave you here and you can crawl to the hospital yourself." She tries to pull free, but her strength fails. Tears spill down her cheek, then she sees it. A small blinking red light on the ceiling. A hallway camera. Recording. Watching. Witnessing everything he is doing. Marcos does not notice. He is too focused on her. He shoves her away from him. Her back hits the wall. Her hand slips. Her legs buckle. She collapses again, unable to break the fall. Her head hits the floor with a soft thud that echoes loudly in her ears. Pain shoots through her skull. A ringing noise fills her mind. She groans, unable to roll over. Marcos steps back, breathing heavily. "I am done with you tonight. Stay here until you can behave." He turns and walks away, adjusting his shirt, smoothing his hair, and preparing to rejoin the party as if nothing happened. The music swells behind him, laughing and glittering, drowning out the sound of his wife, gasping for breath on the cold marble floor. Elena lies still, half-conscious. Her right arm no longer responds. The right side of her face feels like it is melting. Her chest rises in uneven jerks. Her baby twists inside her, sensing the terror. She tries again to speak, but the words dissolve. Her tongue feels thick. Her lips do not form shape. The camera above records the moment her body sags fully against the tile. A long, rattling exhale escapes her. Her left hand curls around her stomach, trembling. The red light continues blinking. Captured. Documented. Preserved. The door to the ballroom swings open again. Laughter explodes into the hallway. A woman's voice calls out Marcos's name, bright and flirtatious. "Victoria." He walks toward her, smiling warmly, as if he has not just left his wife dying behind him. Elena's eyes blur. Her breath catches. Her vision fades. She whispers the last thing she can form. "Help!" But the hallway swallows her voice. The party roars louder, and the camera never stops recording. The moment Marcos disappears back into the ballroom, the hallway falls into a suffocating silence. The music continues blasting from the party, but here, on the cold marble floor, the world feels terrifyingly still. Elena lies on her side, fighting to remain conscious. Her fingers twitch against the tile. Her breath comes in slow, uneven pulls. She tries once more to lift her head, but it drops, as if weighed down by stone. The camera blinks steadily above her, the only witness to her suffering. The red light glows like a heartbeat. Recording, storing, preserving. But cameras cannot dial for help. Cameras cannot lift her from the floor. Cameras cannot save her. The faint sound of footsteps echoes from the far end of the corridor. At first, Elena thinks she is imagining it. She has already begun drifting in and out, her mind slipping into a fog even as she fights to stay awake. The footsteps grow louder. Someone is coming. It is Rosa. The older housekeeper freezes the moment she sees Elena collapsed on the floor. Her hand flies to her mouth. Her eyes widen in horror. Dios mío, Elena. She rushes forward, kneeling beside her. Elena tries to speak, but only a faint groan escapes. Rosa gently touches her cheek. The right side is slack and unresponsive. Oh no, 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 no. This is not exhaustion. This is serious, Rosa whispers, panic filling her voice. You need help. Elena attempts to move her right hand, but it barely shifts an inch. Her breath shakes. Her lips form a broken sound. Rosa recognizes the signs instantly. She has seen strokes before in her long years working in households. She knows what paralysis looks like. She knows what slurred words mean. She knows that seconds matter. She stands quickly, her voice snapping into urgent command. Stay with me. I will get help. But before turning, she stops. Her eyes drift upward and freeze on the tiny blinking red light above them. The camera. Rosa gasps softly as realization hits her. The camera saw everything. Marcos grabbing Elena, Marcos yelling, Marcos deleting her message, Marcos shoving her, the collapse, the paralysis. That camera is the difference between truth and lies, between justice and Marcos's excuses, between survival and silence. Rosa stares at it for a long moment, then nods firmly to herself. Good, good, you are not alone. Someone saw, someone will know. She dashes to the nearest doorway and calls out toward the reception area, shouting louder than she ever has in this house. I need help. Someone come now. Her voice cuts through the music. Two staff members look up. Daniel, the young security guard from earlier, rushes toward her. His eyes widen when he sees Elena. Oh God, what happened? She is having a medical emergency, Rosa snaps. Call for an ambulance, now. Daniel pulls out his phone immediately, but Rosa stops him with a raised hand. Not from your personal phone. Use the house line or radio. We need a recorded call. Daniel nods, sprinting toward the office. Rosa turns back to Elena, lifting her head gently onto her lap. She smooths Elena's hair away from her damp forehead. Elena tries again to speak. Her mouth opens, but the words collapse before forming. Do not force it. Save your strength, Rosa murmurs. Help is coming. Another staff member arrives. Then another. Word spreads quickly through the service halls. People peek around corners with wide, frightened eyes. A few gasp when they see Elena's face. Someone whispers, she is drooping on one side. That is a stroke. Someone else whispers, where is her husband? Rosa answers before anyone can question further. He is not here, and we do not wait for him. She points to a young maid. Get a wet cloth. Not cold, just damp. Gently wipe her mouth. She turns to another. Bring towels. And keep everyone away from this hallway unless they can help. She looks at Daniel returning at full speed. Did you call? Yes. Emergency services are sending a team. They said do not move her unless she is in danger. Rosa nods. Good. Then we keep her stable. The staff begin working together, moving instinctively with surprising coordination. One dims the hallway lights so they are not harsh on Elena's eyes. Another stands near the door to prevent guests from wandering in and taking photos. Someone else kneels to check Elena's pulse with shaking hands. Rosa stays right beside her, talking softly. Look at me. Stay with me. Keep breathing. You are going to be all right. Elena blinks slowly. She is drifting again. Rosa lightly taps her cheek. No sleeping. Not yet. The minutes drag painfully. The music in the ballroom somehow grows louder. The sound feels cruel, like a celebration happening on the other side of a nightmare. Voices shout Marcos's name. Victoria laughs her high, bright laugh. Glasses clink. Cameras flash. None of them know what is unfolding just feet away. Then a new voice enters the hallway. Cold, sharp, annoyed. What is going on here? Marcos. He stops abruptly when he sees the group gathered around Elena. His arrogant expression twists into irritation. Why are you all standing around? Why is she on the floor again? Daniel steps forward before Rosa can speak. "Sir, she needs medical attention. An ambulance is on the way." Marcos's voice spikes. "You what?" He pushes Daniel aside. "I told her to stop acting like this. She is ruining everything." Rosa rises to her feet, her eyes blazing with a fury she has held back for years. She plants herself firmly between him and Elena. "This is not acting," she says, her voice shaking but strong. "She is in danger, and you will not come near her." Marcos steps forward threateningly. "You have no right to tell me what to do with my wife." Rosa does not move an inch. "You lost that right the moment you walked away from her." Marcos opens his mouth to argue, but something catches his eye. The camera, the blinking red light. The realization hits him like a punch. He freezes. For the first time all night, fear flashes across his face. Rosa sees it. Daniel sees it. Everyone sees it. Marcos looks down, suddenly aware that every step he took, every word he spat, every action he committed, has been preserved. He backs up one step, then another. Rosa turns away from him and kneels beside Elena again. "Ignore him. Help is coming." The hallway grows still again, but now the silence is different. It is heavy, charged, filled with a new power. The truth is no longer hidden, and finally, faint but unmistakable, the sound of sirens begins to approach. The help Elena begged for is finally coming. Even if her husband tried to erase it, the distant sirens grow louder, wailing through the night as the guests in the ballroom continue drinking, laughing, and clapping, without the slightest idea that everything is about to shatter. Inside the back corridor, Rosa keeps Elena's head gently elevated, whispering encouragement in her ear. Daniel stands near the entrance with his radio, guiding the paramedics to the right location. Several staff members form a protective barrier, so no guests wander in with their phones out. But the chaos in the hallway is nothing compared to what is happening outside the mansion's walls. Someone has already seen the footage. 2 minutes after Daniel placed the emergency call, the security company automatically flagged the hallway, recording as a potential domestic violence incident. Their system is designed to detect abnormal physical motions, falls, and confrontations. A blinking red alert appeared on the security monitor inside their remote office miles away. A technician named Luis opened the flagged clip, expecting maybe someone slipping on a wet floor. He did not expect to see a pregnant woman collapse. He did not expect to see a husband deleting a 911 message. He did not expect to hear her begging for help. He did not expect to watch her fall again, unprotected, helpless. The video stunned him into silence. Luis replayed it twice to make sure he saw what he thought he saw. His heart pounded. He called his supervisor. She watched the same clip, her face growing more horrified with every passing second. Company policy required them to forward all suspected medical emergencies and violent incidents to first responders. They did, but the footage did not stop there. The supervising technician, trembling with anger, uploaded the clip to the police portal for review. As she did, a copy auto-saved to her desktop, one that should have stayed private. One that should never have left official hand. She sent it to her sister with a single message. "You are not going to believe this." Her sister sent it to a friend. The friend sent it to a group chat, and within minutes, the clip spread like wildfire. A caption quickly surfaced. "Millionaire de let pregnant wife's 911 message." The views jumped from 40 to 500 in under a minute, from 500 to 3,000 in under 5. From 3,000 to 30,000 in under 20. By the time the paramedics arrived at the mansion gate, the clip had already crossed 100,000 views. Inside the house, Rosa senses something shifting in the atmosphere. She feels the vibration of dozens of phones buzzing across the ballroom as guests lift their screens in confusion. Whispered conversations begin to ripple through the party. "What is this video? Is that Marcos? Is that his wife? That cannot be real. Oh my God, it is real." The music fades slightly as the DJ lowers the volume, confused by the sudden change in the crowd. People begin stepping away from Victoria, who holds her champagne glass mid-air, bewildered at the sudden change in attention. Someone runs to her and whispers frantically in her ear. Her expression freezes. She pulls out her phone. The screen lights up with the thumbnail. The paused frame shows Marcos grabbing Elena's wrist in the hallway. Victoria's face drains of color. Across the room, Marcos finally senses the shift. The guests who once hovered around him with flattering smiles now step back as if avoiding contamination. Phones rise around him like a forest of glowing judgment. He snaps, "What are you all looking at?" No one answers. Until someone holds up their screen, the video paused on the moment he deletes Elena's 911 message. Marcos goes pale. His voice breaks through the stunned silence. "Turn that off, now." But it is far too late. The clip is already everywhere. People are sharing it faster than he can yell. Back in the hallway, the doors swing open as the paramedics rush inside. Their footsteps echo sharply. One kneels next to Elena, checking her pulse, assessing her breathing, giving quick instructions to the others. Another begins securing her neck. Another checks her reflexes. Their faces mask urgent concern. "Severe stroke symptoms," one says. "Time last known normal." Rosa answers immediately. "Maybe an hour ago. She has been deteriorating all day." The paramedic nods, already preparing the stretcher. "We need to move fast." Elena barely opens her eyes, but she sees flashes of red and blue lights in the distance. Her mind drifts in and out. She feels as if her body is sinking into cold water. Voices blend together like echoes in a tunnel. Another staff member steps beside Rosa and whispers, "Everyone in the ballroom is watching a video of what he did." Rosa closes her eyes. Relief mixes with sorrow. Good. The world should see. Outside the ballroom doors, the guests finally turn toward the hallway. Someone gasps when they catch sight of the paramedics racing through the corridor with equipment. Another covers her mouth when she sees Elena on the stretcher. Marcos arrives a moment later, shoving through the crowd. "What are you doing? Do not take her anywhere. She is overreacting." A paramedic blocks him with a firm arm. "Sir, step back. This is a medical emergency." "You do not understand," Marcos hisses. "She always acts like this when she wants attention." The paramedic stares at him, eyes cold with disbelief. "Sir, her face is paralyzed. Her right side is unresponsive. Her blood pressure is dangerously high. She could die." The final word slices through Marcos's arrogance like a blade. He steps back. For a moment, he looks truly afraid. Not for Elena's life, but for his own reputation, for the consequences closing in on him. Behind him, guests whisper, "That video is everywhere. What he did is unforgivable. He deleted her Novacentaudici message." Someone call the police. The paramedics lift Elena gently onto the stretcher and wheel her toward the exit. Rosa walks beside her, holding her hand until the last possible moment. As they reach the front door, the crowd parts in stunned silence. Phones record. Guests stare. A mansion filled with luxury has turned into a crime scene of shame. And far above the noise, the video continues spreading. 100,000 views becomes 300,000. 300 becomes 800,000. Within the hour, the world knows the truth that Marcos tried to erase. But Elena is already being loaded into the ambulance, and the doors close with a final, echoing thud. Truth has left the house, and it will not be stopped. The ambulance tears through the night, red lights bouncing off buildings as Elena lies strapped to the stretcher, drifting between consciousness and darkness. Every bump in the road sends a ripple of pain through her skull. Her right arm lies limp at her side. Her speech is slurred beyond recognition. One paramedic keeps his fingers on her pulse. The other speaks urgently into his radio, updating the hospital. Pregnant patient, 8 months. Suspected stroke, right side paralysis, low responsiveness. The words echo through the confined space like warnings Elena cannot escape. A monitor beside her begins picking up a second rhythm, a softer, quicker one. The baby's heartbeat. The sound pulses through the ambulance like a fragile drum. The paramedic looks at the screen and exhales. Fetal heartbeat still strong. Elena hears that. She clings to it. She does not know if she is conscious or dreaming, but she holds on to that sound like a rope pulling her back from the edge. When the ambulance doors burst open at the hospital, a team of doctors races forward. They wheel her through the bright hallway, the fluorescent lights flashing across her blurred vision. Voices overlap around her. BP is dangerously high. Get her to imaging. Prep fetal monitoring. She is having a neurological event. Call the stroke team. The voices blur into one long rush of urgency. Elena tries to lift her head, but it falls back against the pillow. She tries to speak, but the words remain trapped inside her. They wheel her into a room filled with machines. A nurse gently places a belt across Elena's swollen belly. The fetal monitor comes alive with the soft, rhythmic beat of her baby. The doctor glances at the screen, reassured. "Good," he says. "The baby is stable for now." A second doctor leans over Elena, shining a light into her eyes. "Can you hear me? Blink if yes." Elena blinks. Relief washes over his face. She is responsive. Keep her stabilized. They press cool pads to her forehead. They take blood. They start fluids. They hook her to monitors. She hears shoes squeaking across the floor as more staff enter the room. And then another sound arrives. A firmer one. A deeper one. The voice of authority. "Police." Two officers step inside. One of them gently approaches the doctor. "We received a video submitted through the emergency portal. We need to confirm if she is the woman in the recording." The doctor nods grimly. "She is." The officers look down at Elena. Their expressions change instantly. They are no longer neutral professionals. They are witnesses to cruelty. "We will need a statement when she is stable," one officer says quietly. "But for now, focus on her care." Another nurse enters with a chart in hand. "Blood pressure is still high. We need to stabilize her to prevent further damage." The doctor nods. "Do not let her drift. Keep talking to her." A nurse kneels beside the bed. "Elena, you are safe. You are in the hospital. We are here. Your baby is doing well. Keep breathing." Her name. Hearing it grounds her. She blinks again. The officer steps closer, lowering his voice to the nurse. "Was she alone when found?" The nurse hesitates. "No, staff were with her. Housekeeper, security. They called us." "Her husband present?" the officer asks, though his tone suggests he already knows the answer. "He was there," the nurse says tightly, "but not helping." The officer's jaw clenches. He walks closer to Elena with gentleness, as though speaking to a wounded animal. "Ma'am, I want you to know we are aware of what happened tonight. The video has been reviewed. You did nothing wrong. You asked for help. That matters." Her eyes fill with tears that slip silently down her cheek. The doctor glances at the fetal monitor again. The steady beat continues like a quiet promise. He adjusts the belt carefully. "Your baby is strong. Focus on breathing. We will take care of the rest." Another officer enters the room holding a folder. "We have enough cause to file a temporary protective order. It will go into effect immediately." The nurse looks relieved. "Good, she needs that." Elena hears the words through the haze. Protective order. Her mind fogs again, but the meaning cuts through. Marcos cannot come here. Marcos cannot touch her. Marcos cannot silence her. The officer leans slightly closer. "We are filing a no-contact order. He will not be allowed near this hospital or your room. If he tries, he will be removed." A tear slips down Elena's cheek. This time it is not from fear, it is relief. The doctor steps back after checking her vitals. "She is stable enough for imaging. We need to assess the extent of the stroke." The nurses begin preparing the equipment. The officer remains near the doorway, standing guard. No one in the room is willing to let danger near her again. As they wheel her toward the imaging suite, the fetal monitor continues to play its soft, repetitive rhythm, a tiny heartbeat fighting beside her. For the first time today, Elena does not feel completely alone. She is not safe yet. She is not out of danger, but she is believed, and that simple truth begins to pull her back from the edge. The imaging room hums softly as Elena is moved out on her stretcher, her body still weak, her face still partially paralyzed. Nurses wheel her back toward a quieter wing of the hospital, away from the emergency room noise. Machines beep steadily around her. Her baby's heartbeat continues its rapid rhythm through the monitor beside her bed. It is the only sound that brings her comfort. Outside her room, a different kind of storm has begun. Two officers stand in the hallway, speaking in low but tense voices. The more senior officer, Alvarez, scrolls through a tablet filled with screenshots, timestamps, and submissions. His jaw tightens as he flips through each piece of evidence. The younger officer, Harris, shakes his head in disbelief. "The more we look, the worse it gets. This is not one bad night. This is a pattern." "It always is," Alvarez replies quietly. "Men like him do not escalate in one evening. They build up to it." Inside the room, Rosa sits in a chair beside Elena's bed. She has refused to leave her side. She watches Elena sleep with worry carved deep into her expression. Every few minutes she glances toward the monitor to reassure herself the baby is still strong. Then there is a soft knock. Officer Harris steps inside. "Ma'am, we need to ask a few questions about what happened earlier." Rosa rises slowly. "Of course, anything to help." He hesitates, then glances at Elena. Has this ever happened before? Not the stroke, but the way he treated her. Rosa's eyes lower. She exhales. "Yes." Harris nods gently. "Can you tell me?" Rosa steps into the hallway where the senior officer waits. Her voice shakes with emotion. "He controlled her. For years. Not with bruises you can see, but with restrictions, with silence, with fear. He took her friends away. He took her money. He made her doubt everything she felt. And every time she tried to speak up, he told her she was being dramatic." The officers exchange a knowing look. "Do you have anything concrete?" Alvarez asks gently. "Messages, emails, photos, anything from before tonight?" Rosa hesitates. Her hands twist nervously. Then she nods. "I kept some things. I did not know what they meant at the time, but now I do." She pulls out her phone. Slowly, with trembling fingers, she scrolls through old photos and screenshots. She shows them one by one. First is a picture from 2 months ago. Elena stands at the edge of the kitchen, holding her stomach with a pained expression. In the background, Marcos is turned away, laughing into his phone with Victoria. "She was cramping badly that night," Rosa whispers. He told her to stop interrupting. Next is a screenshot of a message thread. Elena to Rosa. "My card was declined again. He said he will give me money later. I do not know why he locks the account." Below it, another message from Elena an hour later. "He took my phone for the night." Another screenshot. A calendar entry. "Doctor appointment, cancelled." "Doctor appointment, rescheduled by Marcos." "Doctor appointment, deleted entirely." Officer Alvarez scrolls slowly, his expression darkening with each new piece. She was being isolated. Rosa nods. "Yes, and she always looked like she wanted to tell someone, but he was always there." Harris adds these new screenshots to the growing case folder. The digital pile of evidence is becoming undeniable, a portrait of psychological control, medical neglect, and escalating harm. Then the senior officer opens a new file. "This came in 15 minutes ago. It is from one of her friends, Clara." Rosa's eyes widen. "Clara tried to help her." Alvarez nods. "She sent us screenshots of their messages. They show repeated warnings. Clara told her the symptoms sounded serious. Elena said Marcos would not let her call the doctor." Harris opens another image. And there is this, a text from Elena last week. She wrote, "He said I was embarrassing him. He said, if I keep complaining, he will take my phone away for good." Rosa covers her mouth. "I knew it. I knew she was afraid to speak." Alvarez scrolls further. There is more. A neighbor submitted a photo of bruising on Elena's wrist from 4 months ago. She said Elena brushed it off at the time, said she fell, but the angle and shape match fingerprints. Rosa shuts her eyes. Pain floods her expression. She was so alone. Officer Harris tucks his tablet under his arm. "Not anymore. This is enough to build a full case. Not just for deleting a 911 message. Not just for obstructing aid. This is coercive control, medical neglect, endangerment, domestic violence." Alvarez adds, "And if tonight's stroke was worsened by delayed care, he could be responsible for that too." Inside the room, Elena stirs weakly. Her eyes flutter open. She sees Rosa first, then the officers. Her breathing quickens. Panic flickers through her gaze. Officer Alvarez steps closer, voice gentle and steady. "Mrs. Cruz, I know you cannot speak clearly yet, but hear me. You are safe. We have your video. We have your messages. We have your friends' warnings. We have your housekeeper's testimony. We have proof of a long pattern." Elena's lips tremble. A tear escapes her eye. "You were not imagining it," he continues. "You were not dramatic. You were not oversensitive. You were hurt, controlled, silenced." Another tear falls. "And now," Alvarez says, lowering his voice even more, "you will never go through this alone again. We are building the case, and he will not get away with what he did." Elena blinks, slow but deliberate. It is the closest she can come to saying thank you. As the officers step out to continue gathering evidence, Elena looks toward the monitor beside her. The baby's heartbeat continues, steady and strong. For the first time in a long time, she believes she might survive this. And for the first time ever, she believes the truth will finally speak louder than Marcos. Morning light seeps into the hospital room, soft and pale, touching the edges of the sheets with a fragile warmth. Elena wakes slowly, drifting up through layers of exhaustion until her eyes finally open. Her vision is still hazy on the right side, and her cheek feels heavy as if gravity is stronger on one half of her face. But she is conscious. She is alive. And for the first time in hours, she feels a small sense of safety. A nurse enters quietly. She smiles the moment she sees Elena awake. "Good morning, sweetheart. You are doing better. Your blood pressure is coming down. Your baby is still strong, and you are safe here." The reassurance sinks deep. Elena's breath trembles as she exhales. The nurse adjusts the fetal monitor and gently squeezes Elena's hand. "You scared us, but you fought hard." Elena tries to speak, but only a strained whisper comes out. The nurse places a small whiteboard and marker in her hand. "Use this for now. No stress. No pushing yourself." Elena writes slowly, shakily. "What happened?" The nurse hesitates before answering. "You had a severe stroke. You were found just in time. The paramedics got you stable. The doctors acted fast. You are lucky to be here." Elena's throat tightens. She swallows hard. The nurse leans closer. "You are not alone in this. People are helping you." As if on cue, Rosa enters the room carrying a blanket. Her eyes soften with relief. "You are awake. Gracias a Dios." She sits beside the bed and strokes Elena's hair gently. "I stayed all night. I was not leaving you." Elena writes another question. "Marcos." Rosa's expression darkens. "He is not allowed here. The police issued a no-contact order. He tried to come, but security sent him away." A quiet shock fills Elena's eyes. He tried to come, not to help her, but because he finally lost control. The door opens again. This time, a woman in a dark suit enters. Her voice is calm and steady. "Mrs. Cruz, my name is Laura Bennett. I am the attorney assigned to assist you. The hospital and officers contacted me after reviewing your case." Elena tenses slightly, trying to process the flood of new information. Rosa squeezes her hand for reassurance. Laura steps closer with gentle professionalism. "You have experienced something very serious, and the law is on your side. You do not need to speak yet. Just listen." She sits in the chair beside the bed. "Your case includes medical neglect, obstruction of emergency services, domestic violence, and coercive control. The video evidence is extremely strong. You have every right to pursue legal protection and temporary separation." Elena lifts the whiteboard and writes slowly. "I cannot go back." Laura nods firmly. "You will not. The protective order is already active. Marcos cannot come near you or the baby, and he cannot interfere with your medical care." A tear slips down Elena's cheek. She wipes it with her left hand. Rosa adds softly, "You have people now. You are not alone." Laura continues, her tone clear. "You also need to know that you are allowed to request emergency custody of the baby once birth occurs. Based on the evidence, the court will likely grant it. Marcus's actions put both of you at risk." Elena closes her eyes, overwhelmed. She writes again with trembling fingers. "What do I do next?" Laura answers without hesitation. "First, you heal. The medical team will monitor your recovery. Second, you allow us to build the case. The officers already gathered witness statements from staff. Someone submitted messages from a friend showing that you were prevented from seeking medical help. Rosa provided valuable evidence as well." Rosa nods. "I told them everything. I showed them the screenshots." Elena's breathing becomes shaky again, but this time from relief, not fear. Laura continues. "The video is the strongest piece. The moment he deleted your 911 message, the way he handled you, the fall, none of it can be argued away." She pauses, choosing her words carefully. "You were not imagining anything. Not the pain, not the fear, not the way he eroded your independence. It is real, and now it is recorded." Elena stares at the fetal monitor. Its soft beeping is steady and sure. Her baby is alive. Her baby survived the night. Another tear rolls down her cheek. She writes on the board, "I want to protect my child." Laura's voice softens. "You already have. You survived long enough for help to reach you. Now you can make decisions he can no longer control." Rosa grasps Elena's hand. "Mi niña, this is your new beginning. You choose what happens now." Elena looks at both women. Her eyes fill with a strength she has not felt in years. She lifts the marker again. I want to separate. I want custody. I want safety. Laura nods with purpose. Then that is what we will pursue, and you will win. For a long moment, the room is silent, except for the rhythmic heartbeat of her baby echoing gently through the monitor. It is a reminder that she is fighting for more than herself. She is fighting for a future where fear does not control her. A future where safety is not a privilege, but a right. Elena closes her eyes and breathes slowly. For the first time, her breath does not tremble. She has chosen her path, and she will not turn back. 2 weeks pass before Elena can walk the hospital hallway on her own again. Her right side still feels heavy, but every day brings a little more strength. Nurses cheer for her when she completes her short laps around the corridor. Rosa visits twice a day with fresh flowers and warm blankets. Officer Alvarez checks in regularly, updating her on the progress of the case. Laura brings new documents each visit, explaining everything with calm precision. But the thing that fills Elena with the most hope is the steady rhythm from the fetal monitor whenever she is checked. Her baby holds on, strong, resilient, a heartbeat that refuses to dim. On a warm afternoon, sunlight pours through the hospital windows as Elena sits in a recliner near her bed, wrapped in a soft cardigan Rosa brought from home. She is studying legal papers Laura placed before her. Custody forms, protective orders, witness statements, all stamped and official. Laura re-enters the room, speaking gently. The judge reviewed everything: the video, the medical reports, the witness accounts, Marcos's attempt to block your emergency call. The ruling is in your favor. Elena inhales slowly. What does that mean? It means, Laura says, taking a seat next to her, you are granted full emergency custody. Marcos is barred from contacting you or approaching the baby. He cannot claim rights until the full hearing, and based on the evidence, that will go in your favor too. Elena's hands tremble, but this time from relief. She places a hand on her belly. The baby shifts gently in response. Rosa enters behind Laura, carrying a cup of warm tea. This is justice, mi niña, she whispers. This is what you deserved all along. But the world outside the hospital is not quiet. The video continues spreading, millions of views, comment sections filled with outrage, news anchors calling it one of the most disturbing domestic violence recordings of the year, victims writing messages saying they saw themselves in Elena, advocates demanding stricter laws for emergency interference. Marcos's business partners sever ties, investors pull out, his public image collapses faster than he can issue statements. And he does try. He claims the footage is out of context. He claims Elena was confused. He claims he panicked. He claims he never meant harm. But the world has watched him delete a 911 message from a woman showing visible stroke symptoms. No explanation can wash that away. The consequences land quickly. An officer visits Elena's room with updates. Marcos has been charged with obstruction of emergency services and domestic endangerment. There will be more charges as the investigation continues. Elena nods weakly, processing it all. She never imagined seeing him held accountable, not after years of silence, years of fear, years of shrinking her voice to keep the peace. But now, the truth is louder than him. A week later, Elena is cleared to leave the hospital. She is not fully recovered, but she is stable, and the doctors trust her support system. Rosa waits beside her, carrying her bag. Officer Alvarez stands by the door to escort her outside. As they step into the sunlight, Elena pauses. She closes her eyes and breathes in the warm air. It fills her lungs differently than before. Cleaner, lighter, real. Rosa touches her arm. Ready to go home? Elena opens her eyes. Not home, just somewhere safe. Laura nods. A private apartment has been arranged for you. The security system is updated. The police will patrol the area regularly. Elena smiles softly. Thank you, truly. They help her into the back seat of the car. As it pulls away, the hospital shrinks behind her. She watches through the window in silence, not with fear, not with numbness, but with a deep, steady resolve. Later that evening, she sits on the sofa of her new apartment, surrounded by soft blankets and warm lighting. A nurse visits to check her vitals. Rosa prepares soup in the small kitchen. Laura reviews court dates. Officer Alvarez sends one final text. If you need anything, you call. You are not alone. Elena places a hand on her belly again. The baby nudges lightly, a soft reminder of the life she fought to protect. She whispers, "We survived." The apartment is quiet except for her steady breathing and the hum of the refrigerator, but something else fills the space. Something she has not felt in years. Hope. Not the fragile kind that depends on someone else's moods, not the kind that disappears when doors slam or voices rise, but real hope, strong, quiet, rooted. She rises from the sofa with slow determination, steadying herself with the armrest, and walks toward the balcony. The city glows below her, a sea of light stretching across the horizon. She opens the balcony door, letting the evening breeze wash over her. In the distance, sirens echo faintly, but they do not frighten her. They remind her of the night she was saved, of the people who chose to see her when she was invisible, of the heartbeat that kept fighting beside her. She whispers again, to the child inside her, and to the version of herself she left behind. We are free now, and he can never erase us again. The night sky feels wide and safe. For the first time, Elena feels wide and safe too. The future is uncertain. She still has a long recovery ahead, but the path is hers. Her choices are hers. Her voice is finally hers. And the truth that saved her will light her way forward. Forever.